My favorite thing about astrology is that if we really understand astrology, we have the answers to all of life's problems. Astrology really spells out how humans work in every area of our life. So if we understand the astrology principles, we can figure out the answers to problems in our lives. We can figure out how to live in a way that works without even knowing our birth time, without having our horoscopes ever read. Okay? So in this class, I'm going to talk about how the 1st, 7th, 5th, and 11th houses are key concepts to understand and examine your life through in respect to your relationships. Is this the right relationship for me? Should I get out of here? Should I stay and work on it? Or should I keep it? You know, all these relationship decisions. Should I with this person? You can actually answer those by understanding these 4 houses, 1, 7, 5, and 11. And if you use these houses the way they work, you'll be able to arrive at the answers to your problems in your relationships. Okay, to those kinds of problems. If you do it in reverse, if you do it in a different way, you're just going to stumble and keep stumbling through your life, through your relationship, in your present relationship, you know, clueless and hurting, okay? So, we're going to start with the 1st house. The 1st house, well first, all these houses are things in your life that you take care of. Okay, you have a responsibility towards every one of these houses. Alright? You're not just this house or that house. You're an amalgamation of all these houses. And it's your responsibility to take care of all of them. So when we deal with the 1st house, this is the house of self. You have a responsibility to take care of yourself. The 2nd house is your resources and your food. You have a responsibility to take care of that and to take care of the people that contribute to that in your life, such as your family members. All right? So we have a responsibility towards every house. The 1st house is myself. Since myself exists, since I exist, I have a responsibility towards myself. The same way that if you have a 7th house and you have a partner, you have a responsibility towards them. You can't treat them like shit, for instance. You have to treat them well. All right? Same thing goes towards your 1st house. You have to be responsible for your 1st house in a healthy way, which means you can't treat yourself like shit. Okay? You have to treat yourself well. And the same goes true for all these other houses. So, we're looking at the 1st house in this context of this is something responsible in my life, and that thing is me. I have to take care of myself. That means I have to be self-reliant. I have to provide all the nourishment and sustenance that a person needs to maintain a stable foundation. Now, the 11th house is the house of gains. It's what you get. Now, the 11th house from any house is what you get from that other house. So if you have sex, 7th house, eventually you'll get a child, 5th house, right? Okay, the 5th house is the 11th house from the 7th. It's what you get from sex. Maybe you get joy and romance. Yes, you get that too. So understand that. The 11th from any house is what you get from the other house. So the 1st house is what you are, and it's how you're taking care of yourself. And what you get for doing that is your 11th house. Now here's an interesting thing. The 1st house is a Dharma house. It's a self house. It's about living as yourself. The 11th house is a Kama house, a house of desire. It's a house of getting things you want from the outside. On a psychological level, the 11th house is actually the house of love received. The love and the adoration that you get from the world is your 11th house. And the world includes your present partner. Okay? So the 11th house is actually a very, very important relationship house. Okay? All the Kama houses, 3, 7, and 11, are important relationship houses. Just like all the Dharma houses, 1, 5, 9, are important houses of self. Okay? So, 11th house says you're going to gain something from being the 1st house. What you are is what you get, is basically what's that saying. And what's really cool about that is if we look at those numbers, we've got a 1 and an 11. 11 is just two ones. And 11 is the reflection of itself. So here's, put a mirror here. 1 is reflecting another 1, and now you have 11. And we have this concept, we want a 1-11 relationship, right? We want to be solid in ourselves, and we want a partner that mirrors that, right? Well, the reality is, every relationship we have is a 1-11 relationship. We have a relationship with ourselves, which is based on how responsible we are towards ourselves, first house, how well we take care of ourselves, and that reflects as the love we receive from our partner. So, if we treat ourselves like shit, if we don't respect ourselves, if we don't love ourselves, if we reject parts of ourselves, we get a partner that does those same things to us. We get what we are. That's the 1-11 thing. What you're getting from your partner is what you are, how you treat yourself. Now, this is really a wonderful thing. This means you have 100% power when it comes to what you're getting from your partner. If you take better care of yourself, give more to yourself, love yourself better, respect yourself more, stop rejecting parts of yourself, your partner, who's the mirror image of all that, will do that, or they'll disappear on you. They'll go poof. Okay? Now, so you have 100% power. Now, one of the problems we have in relationships, people sit there and go, I don't know if I should keep them or get rid of them. Because I'm not getting this, I'm not getting respected this way, I'm not getting this kind of attention. So should I get rid of them? That's not a relevant question. Okay? Because you get what you are. So if you get rid of that person, you're going to get the very same get from the next person. So you see, it doesn't matter if you keep them or not. You're only going to get what you're giving to yourself at the first house. So this question, should I keep them because I'm not getting this? Irrelevant. There's no answer there. Okay? Because it's not like you're going to go get more somewhere else, because if you're still treating yourself the same way, wherever you go, it's going to be the same. So, if you're in a relationship and you're not getting some things you need, and some things that are important to you, and you're having instead things that hurt you, you need to say, okay, I need to give those things to myself. I need to respect myself. I have to treat myself better. I got to start prioritizing myself. I have to make me and my life important. Whatever it is that you're saying, you go to your partner, you never make me important. You never consider me. You never think about me. Well, then you go to yourself, say, you never think of yourself, you never consider yourself, you don't make yourself important, so of course you get a partner who's going to treat you the same. So in all these things about what we're getting from our partner or not, that's not a judgment call if we should keep them. It has nothing to do if we should keep them. What we have to do is give and develop the ability to give those things to ourselves. Heal the wounds that are preventing ourselves from having that and not giving it to ourselves, and therefore not getting it from someone else. That's all we have to do with that. It's not about the person. Because the love received, the 11th house, is not about the other person. It's about how you're taking care of yourself and what you're giving to yourself. So you'll never figure out if you should keep someone or get rid of someone based on what you're getting or not getting from them. That's a dead-end question. And that's why people who try to answer that question that way, they get back together, then they break back up, and then they get back together, and they break back up, and they have this roller coaster because they're trying to answer a question with the wrong, they're trying to find the answer to a question by answering the wrong question. So if someone comes up to me and says, how tall are you? And I say, I'm 6'2", and they say, no, but how much, then they get mad at me because they really want to know what I weigh. But they're asking me how tall I am. That would be stupid, to go to someone and ask how tall they are because you want to know how heavy they are, right? But when we ask ourselves, should I keep this person based on what am I getting, what love I'm getting, what love I'm not getting, it's the same kind of question. There's no answer there, okay? Rather, the answer to that question, the big question, should I keep them or not, is answered by the 7th and 5th house. That's how you answer that question. Okay? Now, before I go on to that, I wanted to mention how you want to get more from your relationship. In your love life, you want more 11th house. Love received, respect received, adoration received, gifts received. You want all this, you want more of everything, right? Don't we all? But the only way you're going to get it is by giving that more to yourself. Okay? It doesn't work any other way. Okay? You want to be important to your partner? Make yourself important in your life. Then they'll have one choice and two choice. Make you important or watch you walk out of their lives. There is no other option. Okay? You get to decide that. If you make yourself a doormat, you get stepped on. That's life. Okay? You put yourself up on a pedestal, a healthy pedestal of healthy self-respect. Someone can push their pedestal next to yours and sit down next to you. Okay? But if you put a doormat down, people are just going to step on you. You know? We have to treat ourselves the way we want to be treated. The best thing we can do to help our love life is consider the pain that we're having, the frustrations. Oh, if I only had this from my partner, if I was only getting this from my partner, and then just say, wait a minute. Wow, if you really contemplate, you realize you're not giving that to yourself, and you just need to do it. Or you might just say, oh, I want to love them this way. I want to take care of them this way. I'm so desperate to love and take care of this person this way. To heal them, to help them. Well, stop. No. If you're desperate for that, your partners aren't letting you. You know, you want to take care of their partner and they don't let you. You want to love them and they reject you. You know? Why are you getting that? Because you don't love yourself. You're not trying to heal yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. As soon as you do that, you'll get a partner that you can love back. So we have to look at what's wrong in my relationship? How can I not love this person, or how can I not get love from this person? And then we need to give whatever that is to ourselves, and then we'll start attracting it. And that resolves this whole first 11th house thing. Now, this idea that the 11th house has anything to do with your intimate relationships and your marriage and so on, it's not something most astrologers are going to agree on. They're like, no, 7th house. 11th house is like groups, and it's your peers, and it's all that kind of stuff. And it's your diplomas and your degrees and your titles. Yes, it's all that stuff too. But on a psychological level, it's the love you receive, the adoration you receive. Okay? Titles are an adoration where people respect you. Oh, he's a gold medalist. Now there's an adoration there. Professor so-and-so, you're more important. You get more from me, more attention. I'm more focused on you. Okay? The 11th house gives all that. But there's a yoga. It's the 11th Lord in the 8th. One will not have happiness from the elder sibling. Makes sense. 11th house is elder siblings. It's in here in the 8th house of destruction. There'll be something disrupting your relationship with your elder sibling. It also says that the 11th Lord is in the 8th. Your spouse will die before you. Why does 11th house in the 8th kill your spouse before you? Indicate that you're going to live longer than your spouse. Because the 8th house is radical change. And so, if your 11th Lord, which is what you're going to get because of what you are, is going to radically change at some point, it could radically change to such a degree that your partner cannot match fit you anymore. They're no longer the mirror. Usually what happens, we make a little progress in ourselves and the partner catches up. We make a little progress in ourselves and the partner catches up, you know? And this happens both ways. Girl makes a little progress, boy makes a little progress, and we catch up to meet each other's reflection. And during those periods of catch-up, there can be crisis in the relationship. But let's say a person makes such a radical shift in how they treat themselves, they make such a radical shift that their partner is no way they can catch up, then they have to go away. And that's the poof. And in traditional culture where you marry for life and there's no other way to get rid of someone except to assassinate them or have them get killed, then the 11th Lord and the 8th can kill your spouse. In modern days, it's probably not going to. It's just going to show you will go through radical transformations in how you treat yourself, and therefore your reflection of what you're going to get from your partner can change so dramatically the other person may not be able to keep up. And they probably won't be able to keep up. And maybe 5 years later, they'll catch up But during those 5 years, you're not even hardly a couple anymore. And that's a sort of a death and rebirth. So there could be a death of the partner and a rebirth, a breaking up, getting back together, or just totally, there's no way they're going to catch up. They're just going in different directions now. Because at the end of the day, you get what you are. So that's why we have this yoga. It shows this idea that the 11th house is a critical house for relationships, okay? All right. Okay, now, the big question always is this the right relationship for me? And we try to answer it, oh, am I getting this love or that love? Wrong question. You answer it by looking at the 11th house from the 7th. Because the 7th house is your partnership. It's your relationship. It's that person. It's a karma house. It's anything you want. Everything you want starts here at the 7th. I want that. It's outside of me and I want it. And I'm going to go get it. That's the 7th house. Whether you go across the world and travel to a foreign country to get something, or you walk across the room to that girl who just smiled at you, you're making a 7th house journey to get what you want. And if you go down to the drug dealer to get the high you want, that's also a 7th house journey. What you want and the journey you make to get it is the 7th house. So I want that girl, I'm going to make this journey. I want this guy, I'm going to make that journey to be with them. Okay? That's the journey of the 7th house, is towards what we want. And what we want most is another person, right? That's what most people want the most, 99.9% of people. So, the most critical thing of the 7th is the person we want. And when we get our hands on them, it's the person we have. So the person we want, the person we have, the thing we want, the things we have are the 7th house. Okay, because we want them. We can totally do okay. We could throw this whole house away and manage okay. But we want this 7th house. And yes, if we want it the right way, it'll augment our life and we'll be glad we have it. If we want it the wrong way, it can destroy our life. And that's what we want to avoid. So the 7th house is simply that. And it's a karma house, a house of desire. The 11th house from the 7th is the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of constancy, of how you're constantly being. Okay, what I like to say, 7-11. Okay? Because the 7th house and the 11th from the 7th is 7-11, right? 7-Eleven was a store that decided, wait a minute, let's open a store at 7 o'clock in the morning and close it at 11 p.m. God forbid, because the Christian way is you work from 9 to 5 and you're closed on Sundays, okay? And probably on Saturday. And now we're going to do this revolutionary thing and have a store open on ungodly hours. After 5 p.m. all the way almost to midnight. Almost to midnight when the demons come out. 7 to 11. Basically your waking hours. If you're awake, you can come in and buy something at our store. That's the idea of 7-Eleven. It's constant. Same for the 5th house. It's the constant life you're living. What's constant in your life? And it's the 11th house from the 7th. So it's what's constant in your house because of what you want and what you have that you want. And it's what you constantly are, how you constantly are during your waking hours of 7 to 11 because of the person you want in your life and the person you have in your life. So the price you pay or the reward you get for having that person in your life or chasing that person is your 5th house. Okay? So, now we know how to answer the question, should I keep them? You look at this Dharma house. The 5th house is the Dharma house. It's yourself. And you go, do I like what I am because of this person in my life? Do I like what I'm becoming because I'm chasing this person? Do I like what I'm becoming, what I am, because I want this person? I'm angry all the time. Do I want to be angry? Wow, having this person is making me angry. That's how you answer the question. You simply ask yourself, what do you constantly want to be? That's your fifth house. Does that person, being with that person, chasing that person, wanting that person, help you be that thing or not? And if so, if it helps you be it, the answer is keep it. Doesn't matter what love you're receiving or not from them. You want more of that, give more to yourself and they'll give you more too. But what are you becoming because of that desire? Because of that desire for a person. So if I desire to get high on crystal meth, and I say, oh, why am I going to get high? Because I want it. So I'm going to go get it because I want it. No, that's not how you figure out if you want to get high on crystal meth. The way you figure out if you should get high on crystal meth is you look at what do you become, the 11th house from the 7th, if you want to take that journey to the drug dealer and get crystal meth. What do you become? You become strung out, toothless, useless, sick, scabied. Okay, do you want to become that? If not, don't go to the drug dealer and get crystal meth. Okay? Go on a run, get your endorphins going, and become something you can feel good about being. It's the very same way in our love lives with the people. What have I become? Am I living my dreams? Am I fulfilling my purpose? Am I in the person fulfilling my purpose and ambition? Or am I a frustrated, bitter, angry, depressed person because of this person in my life? Okay? Am I living out my potentials or have I wasted my potentials? That's the questions we have to ask. What am I becoming because of this desire, this person I want, or this thing I want? If you like what you're becoming because of that person, then keep it. And it doesn't even have to be the whole picture. I've seen people who talk to someone once a month that they have a desire for. And having the desire for that person makes them a better person, though they maybe talk to them once a month, once a 6 month. And the other person might not even know they have the desire. But it helps them become more of who they really want to be. That's healthy. And I've seen people with someone 24/7, 7 to 11, they're sleeping sometimes, all day long, every day, and they're not becoming what they want. They're not growing into who they want to be. They're not achieving the hopes and dreams that they have. So they need to get the hell out of that relationship. Okay? Now, hell is relative. Doesn't mean you have to get the hell out of there. That means you have to focus on the relationship less. You have to find the line between where you start being what you don't want to be. Where you start being the depressed person, the angry person, the bitter person, the frustrated person, the lost person, the disturbed person, the nerve-wracked person, the anxious person. And you have to step out of the relationship that far so you're not that person. Doesn't mean you can't know the person or even have a relationship. You have to step back on your investment in that relationship to a level where you can be what you want to be. Now that level might mean get the hell out of there 100%. Or it might mean, hey, I need to go back to seeing you just once a week because my life's not going how I want to with all this investment I'm making here. So we need to step back to where I'm at a place that I like what I am, where I take pride in what I am and what I'm doing. So that you don't look back at your life and go, my God, I spent 10 years being that. I spent 10 years doing that. And the repercussions of our desires is huge. That's the price we're paying for the desire. It's going to impact everything we could be doing in our world. So if it's not impacting that positively, why are we keeping it? Why are we investing in it? That's like taking crystal meth. Okay? There's other ways to be happy that aren't destructive. There's other people to spend time with, to relate to connect to, where you won't end up being this thing you don't want to be. So, to answer the question, is this relationship right or wrong for me? What are you becoming having it and chasing it? That's all you have to ask. What have I become? because of this person in my life? And do I like that being? Okay, I like part of it, but I don't like this part. Okay, find the place, step back to the place where you can be the good thing you want to be because of that person, but not the bad thing. That's the extent of a healthy relationship with that person. If you cross that line, you're going to find yourself in an unhealthy relationship with that person. So it's this thing, this scale. How much of this person in my space is healthy, and where does it get toxic? Okay? And keep them at that healthy place. Now, as you get healthier with your first house, and hopefully they get healthier with their first house, you might be able to bring them closer into your space, have them more intimate in your space. How do you know? You try and you see what you're becoming. And if you like what you're becoming, yay. Okay? But if not, it's not a viable relationship. It's not healthy. Because the goal of a relationship is to make you more of who you really are. That's the fifth house. To make you constantly doing what you really are. What really matters to you. What really makes you have happiness and joy. Living the life that makes you feel good and alive and makes you feel good about yourself. If your relationship's not giving that, where's the value in it? There's no value in it. It's a self-destructive relationship. So all you need to know, when it comes to picking a partner or knowing your relationship, keeping a relationship is this a self-constructive relationship where it makes me better and more of what I am, that allows me to do a better job with what matters to me? Or is this a self-destructive relationship where the beauty of what I am becomes diminished the more I spend time with this person? Okay? And that's all you have to ask yourself. You don't need to look at your chart. You just have to honestly ask these questions. And then you have to step away from this reflection. Because, see, how you're treating yourself, you're going to need that reflection staring back at you. And so, even if you decide that, gosh, I don't like what I've become, but now you can't step out of it, it's because you're attached to your reflection. You're attached to the love you're getting, which is shitty. Because you're not giving yourself the love that merits you a better reflection. And so you get stuck in that relationship. Because they're your mirror. So you have to work, and to step out completely and fully, you have to work on your inner self, work on your wounds that are making you have a person that would cause you to be anything less than what your potential is. You know, why? What are you trying to prove? What's your agenda? What's your unconscious needs here that you would choose to be in a self-destructive situation and not treat yourself better to where you get a constructive situation? So these houses, they're opposite. They work together. They all work together. Even if you realize, wow, I don't like what I'm becoming, until you do some internal healing, it'll be hard to step away from that reflection. And if you step away from that person, you'll step right back into the next reflection. Same reflection if you don't learn to be more responsible for yourself, more self-reliant, more caring, more loving, more respectful, and so on. You're going to just get the same behavior, same treatment that you're treating yourself. So you have to improve that as well. So you have to work on both ends of the stick. You get to the point of comfort where you can be with that person and be happy about who you are. And then if you want your relationship to improve with that person, or with anyone, you work on yourself. You learn to take better care of yourself, be more giving, more loving to yourself at the first house. And then your mirror will change. Your 11th house, your love received will change. And the person will shift to be a better partner for you. And then you can get tighter at your 5th house, meaning you can, at your 7th house, you can be with them more and it still is beneficial and constructive for you. Or they'll disappear, poof, like magic. Someone else will show up that you can be more intimate and close with, spend more time with, and still like more who you are. So we have to work on both of these. But when it comes to deciding how much do I need to invest in my relationship, the question is simply, do I like what I am because of the investment I'm making in my relationship? And if you do, great. Try investing more. See if you like how you are more. If you don't, step back to the point where you feel good about yourself, where you're not behaving in a way that you hate yourself and feel bad about yourself and have to apologize or this or that. Step back to the place where you can truly be yourself and realize that's the limit of how you can invest in this particular person. And whatever that limit is, it's beautiful because now you have a working relationship. Okay, I'll see you once a month. If I see you once a month, everything in my life works better. And they're like, me too. All right, once a month. Try to be together every day, and now life is chaos. A relationship is healthy not because of how much time you spend with someone, because of how you live your life, what you become. And we need the people just enough to become that thing, and not so much that we lose that thing. And the unhealthier the relationship is, the more traumatized our psyches, really the more contact will cause us to become more and more diminished. So if we want more contact, we have to work on this first house. We have to heal ourselves. We have to have a healthier relationship with ourselves. Every one of these houses is a relationship, a house we are relating to, a part of ourselves that we're relating to. The first house is how we relate to ourselves. The reason they say malefic's in the first. There's no happiness in marriage life. It makes your marriage life more difficult. Why? Because you've got some struggles in the relationship with yourself. It's more true if you have a troubled avashta in the first house, a troubled lajitadi avashta. Now, your relationship with yourself has some real all-time lows. And so, of course, you're going to reflect that in your partners. And the part of yourself that you're not taking care of, whatever that shamed planet or delighted, starved planet is, you're not going to be responsibly taking care of that planet. And so, your mirror image, the love received, is someone who's not going to respect that or give you that love. They won't be able to give it to you. And if they try, it won't happen because there's no plug for it inside of yourself. We have to have the outlets inside ourselves for someone to plug into. If someone decides they're unlovable, it doesn't matter how loving you are to them. They won't feel it. Okay? All right. So that's what we can do to help our 7th and 11th house, or our 7th house, our first house, and the gains, what we get from that. Because what we really want is a nice 5th house. We want to feel good about who we are, live in our lives to a fullness of our ability, the 5th house, the fullness of our potential, and getting all the love in the world that we can receive, the 11th house. That's the gains. And the 1st and 7th house are simply the roads to getting those two things. Okay? All right, thank you.